Okay, so I have an official announcement today. As of February 22nd, 2012, I am starting on my summer Siren project, basically today. And also, the ThunderCane has been permanently dismantled to go into its Mark V prototype. Mark III prototype, or let's see, the Mark II prototype was the non-rotational ThunderCane with the trombone bell. Mark III was the one that looked kind of like a Thunderbolt, but it was more like a Thunderbolt and Square Horned ACA Hurricane, but that never saw that finished, only lasted for about a day. And then the fourth prototype of the ThunderCane was the one that you saw working for about a month or so, but I never really ran it off. I never finished building the controls. I found flaws in them, and I decided I would rebuild them and make them work a whole lot better just now. So I'm going to redo that. And basically the ThunderCane had some collector ring or slip ring issues, chopper issues, and rotational issues, and power supplying issues. So had a lot of issues, though it did look great, and I partly succeeded in making it dismantleable, however you say that word, for maintenance and such. And it was probably the best Siren I've ever built. It just looked perfect, and mainly mechanical fasteners, screws, and rivets, and nuts and bolts. Not too much hot glue. But the next prototype probably is going to be dual-toned with the ability to do a pulse and a high-low and a coded signal. It'll probably be 4/8-tone, 4/8-part. I don't know what that would. I assume I'm going to be using two little red sirens, like the little Fettle code, and that'll have the ports, some of them removed and stuff. Oh, I just came up with an idea. And so, I don't know if that'll make much of a difference. It should in theory. If you know, please leave a comment. So, let me show you my new project. So, here's my new project. It's going to be a 220 siren, like the little mini Fettle code, little red siren, but it's going to be 220 volts since they are made in China or Australia or whatever. And they run on 220, 240. So that's the power system for the siren, and also why I chose this is because 12 volts couldn't run all the way from the outside pole into the garage. It got down so low that I didn't even know the siren was on. So I'm doing 220, so it should not be a problem. It'll basically be like the little red siren, my little Fettle code, with the same housing, except only have two shrouds, or two skirts. And I'm going to make a really nice mounting system, not the PVC pipe stuff. I'm going to use a bracket and some angle aluminum and a nice piece of stuff. And then we go down. I'll start out with the controls. Power comes in here. That's 120 through those lines. It goes into one of those like thingamajiggers you see on telephone poles. I'm going to make this. I'm going to do it right. I'm going to use all the professional parts and make it professionally done, so it looks really nice. I'm going to actually run conduit down the pole. This will be 1/2-inch conduit. This will go into a fuse box, and that will go up to the I'm trying to say converter. The 120 to 220 converter. There's probably a transformer in there anyway. I was really just going to buy the transformer, but I saw a lot of reports on the websites I was going to buy them for that they didn't work. So I'm going with the converter I got for about 20 bucks, free shipping on eBay. Really good deal. And then I'll go to the motor contactor, some circuitry that I just finished building about a half an hour ago. And that'll go up to another piece of conduit, up to a junction box, where the siren will be attached through some of that shiny squiggly stuff. And also a 120 volt light will be attached to that. And so here's basically the main installation system. There's the siren, the garage controls, and the basement controls. Let's start off with this. This will be a radio control from a remote control car, and I'll solder on some switches and make it look really professional, but it'll just be like a remote control circuit hanging inside of there. It'll probably be next to the fire alarm or burglar alarm or whichever you want to call it panel. And that will have a 3-minute clock motor timing, so it'll be on for 3 minutes and then will automatically go off. So that'll be radio controlled through the basement. Hopefully the radio signals will go up to the garage. Those will go up from the basement and be sent up to here, where the receiver from the remote control car will be in this box right there. This will have a disconnect switch, which I already installed, which was going to be for the ThunderCane, but never got around to building those. So there's that, and then has a plug, so that will be plugged in to the radio receiver that will receive, and through the motor system, instead of having it turn on a motor, it will turn on a relay, which will go onto my timer. I'm not sure if it's going to be, if I'm going to make it actually have an AF timer or an AR timer. It might be just a simple, I don't know if I'll make it even look like one. I know I'll paint it yellow, and I don't know if it'll be set for attack, because this siren I don't think will be able to do attack very well. That will go up over there on a piece of conduit through the garage, and I have to drill a hole in the garage wall. And so probably for a while it'll just be an extension cord on the ground. But then that goes over 120 volts over through a junction box. That will go down into the transformer cabinet and up to the siren. And here is the transformer cabinet or converter cabinet or whatever you want to call it. It's going to be made out of wood. It has to be really watertight and weathertight, since it's going to be outside for like ever in hot, cold, rain, wind, snow, humidity. So it has to be built pretty well, but got the converter will be in there instead. I'm probably going to have it elevated a little bit on some little wooden brackets on a little shelf up there. The door hopefully will be probably made out of a piece of wood, and then have weather stripping on it to make it tighter, and all the cracks and stuff will be caulked with some kind of silicone or something. And then I'm going to have an actual angled roof to shed the water off better and keep it from getting into the cracks instead of just a flat top. So that will go up to the motor contactor and out through up to the siren. Okay, and so here's the newly finished controller. This is going to be in the transformer cabinet, mounted on one of the walls in there. So I have got my 220 or 240 contactor and a microwave timing motor, and the voltage input terminal. So I'm going to have 220 coming in both of these four. 220 will go up onto these wires, and we'll push this down, and also we'll connect these two wires, which are also on 220 from the same converter. I'm not sure if that would work, but in theory it should. That will connect down like that, make a loud clappy sound, and that will go up to the siren on 220 power. Then on the 120 side, the two black wires here will go onto the motor and turn this on. There's a little momentary switch right there, the little lever, and the white thing is a cam wheel. And that will go up here. Connected to the switch are these wires, which will go up to a 120 volt light, probably a red light which will go on the siren pole also. So when there is if there is a tornado warning or something and it's dark, and I can't tell if the siren's on or not, that light will go on and I'll be able to see it. So hopefully this will work. I made this in about half an hour, and no soldering required, which I really like, because my soldering iron's not working right now. And I really like using these crimp terminals. Before I realized I could crimp these, I would actually have to pull off the red things, put them on the wire and then soldered the little thingy onto there, and it was a huge ordeal. That's what I did for most of my timers. But this works out great, and so this will be the connector. So, yep. Also, I'm not sure if this is gonna happen, but I hope to. I'm gonna get an inverter possibly and a battery backup, so the siren can also be run on batteries just in case of an emergency or a power failure. So it'll take 12 volts up to 120 volts, and from 120 volts to 220 volts. So hopefully it won't drain the batteries too much. It's a pretty small siren. So if you think this would work, please leave a comment. So thanks for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe.